Welcome to Post-Match Reaction Live. We've just come off the back of the West Ham versus Gent, the away leg of the quarter-final Europa Conference League. It was West Ham 1, Gent 1. And I must say, before we get off the bat, I'm going to be taking lots of your comments tonight. I want you to get involved in this show. It's just me. We're just going to be chatting. Yeah, so let me know what you think. Leave all your questions. But I've got a couple of questions tonight for you to get involved with straight off the bat. Was you impressed with the performance? And I think I'm going to know the answer to that. And did Moyes get the team selection right tonight? But I'm going to go straight off the bat. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't impressive performance. And it sort of summed up everything. It summed up our fragilities of this season. It seemed like we had no confidence. Moyes, for some reason, changed the shape of the side. Look, I know what he's going for. He's going for that, unfortunately, take a draw back to the London Stadium, it seemed like. But, the first 10 minutes were quite positive. We was pressing high. We was giving Gent very little room to play with. We were, forcing them into mistakes. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we just stopped doing that. And we give them room to play. And they're a very... I wouldn't say they're a good side, Gent. They're a decent side, but they're very good at knowing their jobs. And that seemed to me like we were struggling in terms of desire, knowing our jobs, making silly mistakes, getting caught on the ball. We was very fortunate to be, very fortunate to be 1-0 up at half time. I mean, let's have a little debate about the goal. The goal that was disallowed by Guerd. Yeah, what's he supposed to do about that? The keeper's dropped it into him. He's sort of come off between his knee and his hand. It flicks into the goal. He doesn't know anything about it. I can't see how they might give an offside to handball, but the rules are the rules. It was handball. If it was anywhere else on the pitch, he would have got away with it. Moyes is grasping tonight. For me, Moyes is grasping because, if I was in charge of West Ham, I've been saying this for a while, if I was in charge of West Ham, he wouldn't be in charge for the next leg because, as I said, all of our frailties were exposed tonight by, what I would call a mediocre team. Ben Johnson was shocking at centre-back. Why he's changed that, I've got no idea. It was only really towards the end of the game, after we got the goal against the run of play. It was a good goal by Ings, good bit of work by Soufal and Bowen. But we never really looked like threatening again. And that's what we struggle with. That's what we struggled with all season. Getting hold of that ball and being dominant on the ball and going for the throat. And when you look at the Gent side, not the greatest of players, not the greatest of talent, but they're all well organised. They know what they're doing. They're well drilled. And we didn't look like we were. Very fortunate to come away with out of that game with a 1-1 draw. Could have won it at the end, of course, with Paqueta, who was brought down fairly. By the way, referee obviously gave a red card at first and rescinded it. Didn't know what was going on. It wasn't a great performance. Paqueta was the shining light for me. Paqueta was the shining light for me. He was. He came on. He trying to create things, but we're just not well organized. We're just not a well organized side. Defensively, we look shocking at times. Especially from corners and things. We look absolutely shocking. Shocking for the goal. Nowhere near him. Little 1-2 on the edge of the area. We play 5 at the back to try and keep it tight. Nowhere near tight. It took far too much room. Turn. Good finish by the forward. But yeah, it wasn't a good performance. We were very fortunate to come out, and David Moyes, I thought this might happen at this stage of the tournament, that we freeze. We haven't created anything all season. Let's be honest. We're a very unbalanced side. There's players playing in there that just shouldn't be playing. Lanzini, nowhere near the game tonight, I'm afraid. Quite rightly pulled off. I thought Flynn Downs was a very good I say a decent performance tonight. But Ben Johnson, he was shocking, and defensively, we were shocking. Let me take some of your comments. We go back to the front. Tony Hammer Ryan says, crap performance, but we'll take a 1-1 back to the London Stadium. I think that's going to give them a lot of confidence, that performance tonight, because it was a they're a very counter-attacking team, Gent, and as I said, they're well drilled, well organised. They know their jobs. The forward looked, what's his name? Oshiman? Was it Oshiman? His name was Gift something. I forget his name now. I should have written it down. Very confident, full of confidence. That overhead kick at the bar. Wow, that was unbelievable. But it was a shocking performance. That performance by us tonight will give loads of confidence. Oh, there we go. Give loads of confidence. Come to the London Stadium with no fear and probably win. We are shite. Well, that was poor. Lucky to come away from that level. Andy Miles says, wow, that was shocking. That was painful to watch. What a terrible performance. Do you think there was a bit of complacency from the player? I mean, I'm blaming Moyes and I'm blaming, the organisation. Was it the players that are not confident? They just don't look like they're organised. They don't look like they, look, I'm going to read between the lines here. When I see the training video the other day, there isn't a lot of oomph in training. It doesn't look like, and it shows on the pitch sometimes, I think. Johnson is shocking. 15 shots for Gent, 3 shots for us. Poor attacking performance. It seemed like we didn't want it. How can you make a statement and dominate the competition with a 5 at the back and switching off? Exactly. Ben Johnson was a shower. Totally unbalanced team. Johnson not good enough. Quiet game from Rice. No passion from West Ham tonight. Playing 7 defenders against a poor Gent side is poor. I think that is a very good point. When he goes to that 5 at the back and he's playing them 2 holding midfielders as well. We didn't see Souček tonight, which was quite refreshing, to be quite honest with you, because I thought Flynn Downs was decent and he done what he needed to do well. But it doesn't, when you're struggling to score goals, it doesn't give you much confidence in your attacking talent. And I think we've got plenty of attacking talent, even with the likes of Ben Rama and Skamaka. Ben Rama on a bench, called Skamaka out injured. We've got a player like Danny Ings, a fox in the box. Bowen's returning to some sort of form. Well, not quite what he was last season, but the form that. Getting back to the form that he was in a couple of seasons ago, getting back to, being a bit of a pest. Set up the goal tonight, of course, and he goes and leaves basically 3, attacking players, and I don't think that's good enough. You're meant to be making statements. You're meant to be confident. There's no confidence in this team, and it shows. It's quite, people will slate me. People will have a go at me. People will, say I'm. Reading far too much. I've got my trolls online, but I can only see what I see in front of me. Last season, you wouldn't have seen me say nothing. I was very happy with last season. This season, it's quite obvious that there's something not quite there. Training-wise, desire-wise, confidence-wise, even talking. You see a couple of times tonight, the defence, that one where Johnson had to clear it for a corner. Ogbonna and Johnson just not talking. That was absolutely shocking tonight. It's hard to feel enthusiastic about winning this tournament with these performances. We are not natural winners by nature, and I fear Moyes will fall flat as soon as he is tested. Listen, he's clinging on to this by the grasp of it. He needs to get it right. But again, I just feel like he's seized up a little bit tonight. He's seized up a little bit. He's bottled it. He's lost confidence. That's a mediocre side. It's probably a championship level side. And I think he's bottled it tonight. And although we haven't lost the game, he better get it right. He's got, we're down to knockout stages now. Paquette was man of the match. He was only on for 10 minutes. Moyes knows how to serve up awful football. Not only Johnson, the whole team plus Moyes was all crap. Taking things off, a bad decision in my opinion. The players on the yellow should have been taken off. Fornals for Downs, Zuma for Oggy, Manu for Benny. If you can't be bothered to be creative, then at least just run. But we do neither. Lazy, spineless squad. Can't wait to see the back of a majority of the team. Very, very harsh words there. I think you talked about the handball here was a bad decision. Maybe. Paquette and Lanzini in the same team is what we need. I thought Lanzini was poor tonight, I must say. I cannot wait till the end of the season and Moyes is gone. Cornet should have been used. Take off Bowen 70 plus. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, a little bit of pace. You know, if that had been Cornet in Paqueta's position at the end of the game, I think he gets away from him, and I think he probably at least tests the goalkeeper. Brad Hawkins says we were shocking. Get Moyes out. This football here is horrendous. Moyes has taken everything away from this team. Putting Ings on was a mystery. Lanzini was horrendous. Proper shocking. We were shite against Southampton, lucky against Fulham, and piss poor tonight. Arsenal going to tear us a new one. That VAR shit at the end is dross. It was the right decision. He got it wrong. It was a perfectly good tackle. Brad Hawkins, I went to the game and the players don't look happy or up for it. I hope you all, if anyone's joining us from Belgium, do comment. I hope you're having a good time over there. A better time than the football was shown. Agree, pal. That was dross. Gary Crawford, not watching the Arsenal game. I'm bloody dreading it. Steve Cook, forget tonight. We were rubbish. Too many poor performances, and now worry about Sunday and Arsenal. 15 shots to have 4. That's sickening. We haven't played it well for over a year now. Paqueta was our best player on the pitch, all 15 minutes. Rice was solid, says Jeff Moffat. Areola should start because his distribution, his distribution was worse than Hermes. Okay. We have Arsenal and Bournemouth. We should have won that game. It's fucked us up for them games. Aguirre, Bowen and Johnson are crap. I mean, the worrying thing about what you just said there is, getting Arsenal and Bournemouth. We should have won that game, put it away. We had the chances to win it. Even the four shots that we had the chances to win it. Paqueta could have won it at the end. Antonio had a chance towards the end. It was an open game. It was dross from us, but it was quite exciting if you were neutral. But last year it's the opposite. He was concentrating on Europe. The thing that worries me now is that we didn't get the job done because, in my opinion, he's again tinkering with a side that I wouldn't say doesn't need to be tinkered with, but go into a different formation. The players looked at odds at times. He's trying to be clever, trying to keep it tight away from home, and it could come back and bite him in the arse. Because we're now with the game poised with no away goals. We're at knockout stages. It's a one-off game now. And last year, he chucked away a couple of league games in favour of the Conference League. He's not going to do that this time. And the Conference League is our best opportunity at winning a trophy for a long, long time. But we've got to be better. I hope them players are looking at themselves on the airplane, and I hope for some minor miracle for the manager to come to his senses and try and do something a bit positive. But I don't hold much hope to that, to be honest. Moyes is loving this result as he always plans for an away draw. He plays for Napoli. I think Osherman. Yeah, I forgot his name there. Begins with an O. Nicky, Moyes hasn't got a clue, mate. Let them grow in confidence. Exactly. Nicky, do you want Moyes out? Absolutely. I wouldn't even have him in charge for Arsenal if it was up to me. Would you say that this cup is more relevant than the Intertoto? Yes, absolutely. It's more relevant in the Intertoto Cup. It's a proper competition. We've gone all the way through it. What's the point in getting this far into it and then, seizing up like that? We went far in the Europa League last year. We've got some players that have played very well in Europe. Shit the bed tonight, I'm afraid. Every time we got in there half, we just give the ball away and they come at us. Yeah, absolutely. Moyes is loving the result as he always plays for an away draw. I think I've already read that one. Name need to blame the team and the manager. Well, yeah, that's exactly who else. What do they do in training? Very little, it looks. We have to stop blaming Moyes every time every time the players play crap. Listen, it's a joint effort, isn't it? But you can't blame the players every week. When we haven't been doing it consistently for a year, when he consistently picks the wrong team, when he consistently picks the wrong tactics, when he consistently shows that there is no motivation in the side, that he consistently, see players coming out in the press, criticising the manager while he's still in charge. There is no smoke without fire. And I don't think he gives them the best, and I don't think they feel that he gives them the best opportunity to win the game. We've got good enough players. He shows no confidence in the players, which knocks the confidence out of the players itself, in my opinion. No connection between the defence and midfield, also slow in breaking. I was trying to work out the formation and actual game plan. I can see Gent's plan and formation, and that lies with the management. Moyes out. Alban. Sorry, yeah, it was Alban, not Oshiman. Maybe it's all ploy and we're leading them into a false sense of security. No, it was completely shocking. Again, making teams look like world-class Brazil. Fuck my life. Cosmos Runner says, why are we setting up so defensively when we're clearly the better team and favourites to win? Someone explain the tactics to me. We'll limp through and be out in the semis. If we get Eze, Elkmar, with performances like that, they would have put 2, 3, 4 against us, tonight. Not too sure about Ings, not the game tonight, apart from the tap-in. He's a player that needs players around him. And when you're playing 7 defensive players, 5 at the back and 2 defensive midfielders, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to get in the game. We were awful tonight, and it's a disaster. How much more of this Moyes crap do we need to put up with? God help us if we win it. He will never go. We were in for a good kicking against the Gunners. Yeah, absolutely. Paqueta has heart, plays like he actually cares. He's clever. He's a clever player, a very clever player. If only there was some, real attacking talent that we had with him. That some of the passes he played, one for Bowen in particular, which he, I thought was a bad miss. I would have, that's world class. Get the ball out from your feet. He took it. I think it was Emerson. He took it off Emerson, rolled it, and then passed it. Found that sort of gap between the lines. And if we had a proper natural centre forward like Danny Ings, he would have. I think he would have scored that. But we need, we need more attacking talent. We need to show more attacking talent. I think the players have got it. Just need to be more confident with it. We have too many individual players, not enough team players. Completely unbalanced. I agree. Just hope Arsenal don't put 10 past us. If we go with 5 at the back, they will. That's for sure. I've accepted Moyes to the end of the season, but if we out, what do you think will happen to him? What? But if we out, I think he's clinging on to this. He's these questions when he's been asked about pressure and things like that in the last couple of weeks. It always brings up Europe. We're in Europe. We're enjoying Europe. Listen, he shit the bed last year and he's shitting the bed this year. Looking in good shape, Nick. That was shocking. All I want to be is entertained, even if it's just a little. Paqueta will be gone along with Rice. Feels like we're getting worse week by week. Once again, we were awful to watch. Out-muscled, out-played, can't pass or control the ball. Just terrible football. It makes no sense. There's great players in this team, but we look so shit. It's nuts. Can't wait till Moyes packs his bags. Really can't. There's loads of comments coming in. Paqueta Rice played well, but they should be an attacking game, not defensive, and can't even pass a ball properly. The players don't seem to know what to do. You can see we could easily have broken them, but all we did was just pass sideways and back. It was only when Paqueta come on we saw the defence splitting passes. Joe Eaton says, big up, Nicky. This won't be an easy win for us on Sunday. West Ham are a very weird team to play against. Don't worry about that, Joe. You'll be absolutely fine. I'm pretty sure of it. The ball should tell Moyes all of his jobs on the line every time because if he decides to fucking win. Why do we sit back and invite them to shoot their shots all the whole game when we know what we're capable of compared to them? Josiah's more Green Moth says Moyes out now. We've got to be more proactive. We've got to be more confident. Even the commentators. I was watching it on the telly for a first time in a long time today, and they was even saying, look, this looks, Carlton Cole, Joe Cole. What is going on? The players didn't look interested. Management didn't look interested. Players didn't look like they know what they're doing. Players didn't know what their jobs were. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable from the management, but it's not acceptable for, it's not acceptable for the players either. They should at least be able to beat this, substandard team. Forest Fan TV, would you swap Cooper for Moyes? What, in the Battle of the Ugly? No, thank you. Awful performance, said Joe Russell. Last 5 against Arsenal: 1-0, drew 1, lost 4. Listen, the loss is coming, I'm afraid. 47% possession. It is a new record. Can't even blame the Czech wardrobe today. I don't think that the midfield was bad. I really don't. I don't think the midfield was bad. It's just, again, there's no attacking intent. There's no attacking intent from the manager. There's no attacking intent or confidence that we can, to break and score. Nicky, do you know the Dillon family? I don't know. Do I? Name me some names, maybe. Harry Crawford, honestly, both teams look so much better than us. Big up, Nicky, Arsenal fan passing through. Good luck Sunday, mate. I'm sure you won't need it. Yeah, we seem to put the brakes on as soon as we get into the final third. Again, I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's just, what is it? Why can't we score goals? Why was we scoring goals so freely last year but not this year? Tell me what it is. If someone can tell me what it is, I'll read them all out. Nicky, question for you. Going to all the games you go to, which players look like they want to get the team safety from relegation? I don't think no player wants to go down. Honestly, I don't think any player would want to go down. I mean, no player in their right mind would want it on their CV. The only ones I would say that, I'm not going to say wouldn't care, but, wouldn't mind. I think just the older players, the players that are going to go anyway, like the likes of, I don't want to name any names. I don't think that'd be fair to name names, to be honest with you. But because they're always, let's be honest, from one game to another, always shit one another at times, But there is, there's players that are going to have, careers elsewhere. There's going to be players that are going to have careers elsewhere, like the likes of Bowen, Rice, Paqueta. I even think Ben Rama, Aguirre, Ariola, probably. Can all go on and play for a variety of teams and be starters for their teams. And then there's players that are going to be dropping into the Championship anyway. So like the likes of Cresswell and stuff. Like, I'm not blaming Aaron Cresswell at all. He hasn't been playing. But there's, there are a few players hiding, to be honest with you. There's a few players hiding. Ben Johnson has gone to shit. I don't know what's happened to Ben Johnson. And I love Ben Johnson. And as I say, like, nobody's going out there to lose games or play badly. No one's doing that. I'm not going to say no one's going to do that. But there is players there that are just not good enough. That are just not good enough. And I don't think any of the players feel inspired, and some players need that. Some players need their game playing for them. They've got the tools to do it, but instructions, management, training knocks the confidence out of them. But yeah, let's have a look. Nicky, the players are looking and playing so poorly. It's because they've been scared half to death by Moyes, probably threatening to drop them or be shunned from the team. And you can see it when they play. I mean, I think that there's a rumor. I don't know whether this is true, but there's a rumor that one of the reasons that Soufal was dropped. Soufal was injured, and then he struggled to get back into the team, and he was poor at the beginning of the season. But since he's come back, he's been a lot more like his old self, which is exactly what we need at times. I thought he was decent, and I won't say he's pulled up many trees and that. And then there's he got injured again, a little while back, and there's rumours that Moyes dropped him because he went to play for the Czech Republic in the national games. That's a rumour. I'm not saying that's true. I haven't had it confirmed by anyone, but I read that rumour. And if that's true, that is shocking. That's a shocking thing to do, because now is not the time to be laying down the law. If we were sitting 6th in the league, 7th in the league like we was last year, 5th in the league, yeah, fine. Lay down your law if that's the discipline you want. But now is not the time to be upsetting the apple cart. And I do think there's something going on there between Soufal and Moyes, because he came out and and basically criticise Moyes for certain things. Quite openly, and I think, and he's another player that either assumes he's on his way out or wants out. And I think there's a few players that feel like that under Moyes. As I said, there seems to be a growing discontent about the way Moyes approaches games, and I think, without reading, without reading the obvious things in the paper and that, if you read between the lines and see the players' reactions to things, the way that they were last year compared to this year, we haven't got worse player-wise, but in terms of attitude, application, determination, effort, and I think that all has to stem from the manager. If they believe in a project like they did last year, then they will be, more willing to go out there and die for the shirt. But if they feel like they're being deployed and it's the wrong tactics, it's very, very hard to get, motivated. Yourself at work. If you know that there's a way you play or do your job and it's working, but a manager comes in and says, "Right, you should do it this way," and it gives you less chance of succeeding doing that job. Every time you turn around and say, "Well, this way's better," and he's saying, "No, this way." In the end, you lose motivation. You lose, especially if you're, the job isn't getting completed. You're saying, "Well, if we did it, this way, that way, and whatever, we would get it done." But he's putting us out to, he's setting us up to fail, and I think that's what it is. He's setting them up to fail. Approach to the game was wrong tonight. Approach to the game was wrong. We've got very good attacking players. We've got players sitting on the bench there. There could have been a few swapped out. Why bring Ben Johnson in? Even if you wanted to play 5 at the back, why bring Ben Johnson in? It's criminal, really, criminal. Ben Johnson has not been trusted by Moyes in the league lately. How is that going to give him confidence for the quarterfinals in Europe? Exactly. I think maybe I'm pushing it a bit here. Even Thilo Kehrer playing there would have been better option. He stood in there at the beginning of the season and he was poor, at centre back. Players look bored and unmotivated. Yeah, I think that's right. Lucky they weren't too good in front of goal. Could have been 2 or 3. Could have been 3 or 4. We won't win anything under Moyes. I don't know why people think otherwise. We have a much better squad than last year, but the loss of Noble, Pearce and Irvine have highlighted Moyes is the shit manager he is. Only positives, in my opinion, Soufal. Emerson done okay. Paqueta, when he come on, it's not only sucking the life out of players, it's a struggle to watch. We are toothless and lightweight. Will we see you and the lads tomorrow for Friday Night Pint? Absolutely. You'll see us tomorrow for Friday Night Pint. And let's have a couple more comments, and then I think we're going to call it a day. But yeah, all in all, I'll see you tomorrow for the morning after, actually. But all in all, a poor performance, a positive result, because it could have been a lot worse. What's Fornell's done wrong? Moyes never picks him. Smart player with an eye for goal. Again, I think another one that's been knocked out of confidence. Yeah, I don't know. Absolute disgrace, horrendous. Anyone who wants Moyes to stay hasn't got a clue, I'm afraid. Listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's what I would say. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. And, I would never dismiss anyone's opinion. But, I wouldn't want anyone to dismiss mine either. And my opinion is, he should have gone a long, long time ago. But, yeah. Let's go there. I've heard Anderlecht are winning, so we're going to go and watch the Anderlecht versus AZ Alkmaar game and see our potential opponents for the next round. Fingers crossed. But thank you so much. In summary, poor performance, positive result. Hopefully, we can do the job next week at the London Stadium. I will be there. We will be joining. We will be building up towards the Arsenal game on Sunday. I'm going to see my good friend Rob to do a preview with him. That will be out on Saturday. We're looking for a new co-host for the Hammer It Out podcast for all the patrons. That's why there hasn't been a podcast. Dom has sadly left us for a little while. He won't be doing anything for the foreseeable future until we hear any different. So we're looking for a brand new co-host for that. If you have any suggestions for that, if you're a Patreon, drop me a line. Who would you like to see? Anyone on the fan cams? Anyone from the channel? Anyone that can rope in to become the new co-host of the Hammer It Out podcast? Let me know in the comment section down below. But thank you very much for watching. One thing left to say, come on, you irons.